Good evening, folks. It's Diamond with the Oppenheimer Ranch Project and Magnetic Reversal News, bringing you a grand solar minimum update Wednesday, January 29th, 3 p.m. Mountain Time 2020. The GFS models showing snowing, moving east and south as we move into February. As predicted, the storms will get heavier and heavier, and spring will be nowhere to be found. The big story, 7 magnitude earthquake, 7.7 magnitude. The largest earthquake ever to strike Earth and not injure a soul. And we're tracking the Wuhan bat SARS virus as it spreads. And as the data is being hidden from us, the numbers trickle in. Keep calm. It's boom time. Southwest Kansas digging out for more than a foot of snow. Who would have known? There are so many stories. We have impeachments and pandemics. No one cares about the weather. But people in Dodge City, Kansas, residents and businessmen in Southwest Kansas are digging out after a winter storm dumped more than a foot of snow in some areas on Tuesday, which was their lose day. Sneaky little snowstorm coming into Michigan this weekend. A small system has crept into the weather scene over the past 24 hours. Now looks relatively light, but it will be a sneaker. Heads up top knot. Slush and deep snow creating fish kill worries in shallow lakes up there. Oxygen limiting layers covering shallow lakes north of the metro area could cause some fish deaths for the third straight year. And this is up in the Twin Cities region. Layers of ice and slush and deep snow on the lakes in the north of the Twin Cities could actually kill fish. It's amazing. Must be part of the natural process. Recent snowfall causes rise in collapsing roofs. Also a natural part of the process as the roofs collapse in Marathon County, Wisconsin. I'm sure people there still believe in global warming. Now, 2 winter storms will take a swing at the Northeast this weekend. And it's looking, as the models progress, like there's going to be less and less snow on this first system. One storm with rain and snow will sideswipe coastal Northeast on Saturday. And a blockbuster event is not anticipated. Take a look. Season snowfall this year is pretty bleak. 4.4 inches in New York. About half of average. But the snow is coming. Standard, they're normal up in Burlington, 1 inch over average, 4 inches over average in Albany, around average in Buffalo and Erie. But these numbers will quickly change as February progresses. And let's take a look at the models here. Here's that first system, almost nothing happening through Friday, Saturday, Sunday in the Northeast. Light snow in the mountains. The West is going to pick up the most snow. And then a second system midweek, there's your Wednesday, Thursday, February 6th, will bring snow to the Midwest and the north, the northern tier of the Northeast. And then the storms move more southerly tracks as we get into mid-February. So we'll be watching Texas, which is the nexus of is picking up some of this snow. And let's check out the European models. You can see snow moving into the UK immediately over the next few days in the northern regions, followed by the central regions, even Scotland, and then even Denmark picking up some snow, which rarely gets snow here. 5 to 6 inches by mid-February in some areas, potentially. Heavy snow in the Alps could mean avalanche, dangers, warnings, and watches. As we progress into February, we're going to keep a close eye on it. And the totals down here in Turkey do not quit. It will be record-breaking. Now let's get to the magnitude 7.7 earthquake, which struck in the middle of nowhere. There actually is some islands just off to the north and east, and if anyone was on those, my goodness. But the magnitude 7.7 earthquake was felt as far away as Miami, where they evacuated workers in downtown Miami after the quake. Could have been terrifying. Still no reports of injuries coming in, and a cacophony of aftershocks. So we have earthquakes and seismicity continuing in Puerto Rico. And here on the northern flank, this little cluster of quakes should be worrying people. This is in that tsunami zone. So this would be the region we'd be worried about to kick off a tsunami and send it to Miami. And here was where the massive quake struck just yesterday. Largest quake showing now is a 6.1 aftershock. So we're going to be watching this region closely. But thankfully, this major quake struck where there were no people to be injured. Worldwide volcano news update. There's a whole bunch of quakes, a whole bunch of volcanoes that are erupting. Sakurajima, in fact, has erupted or exploded 24 times in the last 3 or 4 days. Popo, Sangay 20,000, Reventador. And let's just take a look at the Sakurajima data. 15 eruptions with 12 explosions detected at the seismic network, 49 volcanic earthquakes, and 27 tremors associated with the eruptions during the period from the 24th to the 27th of January. So that's a pretty big uptick at Saku, and there are millions of people near there. Now let's take a look at Nishinoshima, a new eruption with lava flows entering the sea. Take a look at that. So we have new islands forming in Japan there. Pretty amazing. As the pandemic spreads, Hong Kong stocks drop beyond 2% on return from the Lunar New Year holiday amid coronavirus concerns. David Dubine contacted me yesterday, left me a voicemail. He's concerned. The ports are being shut down. The borders of Mongolia and Kyrgyzstan and other areas are being blocked off from China. China's not blocking the borders. Other countries are blocking the borders so no one can come in. This pandemic is just beginning. There is a 1 to 14-day gestation period, so we have to wait to see what happens over the coming weeks. But the potential for lockdown, martial law worldwide is coming. It's at around 20% right now, probability, and it is growing. So follow the channel for updates and for solutions to potentially what is unfolding. We're going to be doing a special video with Dr. Paul Cottrell, a follow-up of the one I did last night with Leah and I, either later tonight or tomorrow, where we're going to be going over some ways that you can properly prepare for the events that may be unfolding, and just get yourself ready for an event like this that may be coming in the future. But this one's happening now, so we'll use this one to gauge what is happening now. Now, the World Health Organization officials just put this out an hour ago. The coronavirus spread outside of China is of grave concern, and this is just some of the vocabulary they're going to put out there before they have to shut down your city, shut down travel. It has now become a grave concern to the World Health Organization, which should be a grave concern to you. I think I might get a little bit of the bat SARS. Coronavirus. China has quarantined 50 million people. Experts worry that might backfire. You think? You think if you quarantine the city 2 weeks too late and the gestation period is 2 weeks, that there could be millions of people infected? Do you think? Now, the flight bound for Ontario Airport carrying U.S. citizens from Wuhan was diverted. These are the diplomats that were being evacuated. So Ontario said, we don't want your Wuhan here. A plane bound for Ontario International Airport carrying 100 U.S. citizens, probably most of which are infected, has been diverted to March Air Force Base instead, officials announced Tuesday evening. Because hopefully Canada said, you're not coming here. Kurt Hagman, chairman of San Bernardino County Board of Supervisors, made the announcement on social media. Ontario International is one of the repatriation airports for the West Coast, and we are always prepared to receive our citizens abroad in times of emergencies. However, these people are infected, and we don't want them here. So that's just some of the stuff coming as this pandemic unfolds. There's going to be violence against Asians and other stupid things that have nothing to do with your safety. and we're already starting to deny people access. Now, tracking the coronavirus can be done at BNO News, which is supposedly the most updated source. These numbers are not real. The current numbers are 6,153 confirmed cases worldwide, probably more like 61,000, just add a zero, and 132 fatalities as of today. This has been up for 12 hours, so clearly not a number that's being updated because people are dying every hour there. So that number is probably more like 1,300. Will we ever get the real numbers? No. Just like the Spanish flu, it's either 20 million dead or 200 million. So it's anyone's guess. And staring at these charts are not going to help you glean any information. Beyond Meat's production pulled from Tim Hortons Canadian restaurants. This company is failing. And thank God Al Gore's got all his marbles in the basket over here. So Al Gore is failing, as Beyond Meat's meat is failing, which means we're winning. Yes, that's good news on the fake meat front. Beyond shares sank as much as 4% to $115 in early trading Wednesday after Bloomberg's report that no one likes the fake meat. Not only that, it's overpriced, filled with GMOs and other toxins. So go hunting. Now, those of you looking for Event 201 and emailing me, I'm going to leave you links below to it. We discussed this when we talked with Dr. Paul Cottrell. This is the Bill and Melinda Gates funded pandemic exercise that occurred back October 18th, specifically for coronavirus, just months before the coronavirus started spreading. Coincidence? I doubt it. Two satellites will narrowly avoid colliding over Pennsylvania on Wednesday. They hope. Anybody's guess what's happening here? About two defunct satellites will apparently zoom past each other at 32,000 miles per hour at 6 p.m., just in a few hours after this podcast, between 50 and 100 feet apart. They may hit, and it could be fireworks in the sky, and we'll report on it in the morning. Links will be below. Ancient cave filled with 10,000-year-old cave paintings accidentally discovered by Egyptologists in Sinai, and it looks remarkably like paintings that we have over here in Penitente Canyon, even the same color. Astounding. What's going on? Royal Caribbean vessel erupts from Mount St. Helens after 8,000-mile cruise through the center of the earth. There we see it, having the actual photo of the cruise ship being shot out of the top of the erupting volcano in Washington. So this is breaking news. Links will be below. I hope you got something out of the video. The last piece was fake news. If you didn't catch it, you have a long way to go. We're going to be watching the coronavirus closely, and the numbers here are wrong. So check your sources, but this is the best we can do. And the snows will continue into February, and we will report on them. Thanks to all our one-time donors, all of our new Patreons, 14 this month. And most importantly, thanks to those of you who shared these videos. YouTube algorithm is not going to suggest these. But you putting them in your social media, you could stick it right in the face of those that you love. Be safe.